It's time to look ahead to week 6 here on CBS Sports Network. Larry, Mike, and Danny, let's start with Thursday night football. It's an NFC East battle. Danny, I'm going to start with you. We got the Eagles. We got the Giants. It's in New York. It's a 7-point spread. Of course, home dogs here are the New York Giants. They're your New York Giants, if memory serves. What do we like in this one?
Yeah, I think it's going to go rough for Jackson Dart, who showed some of his rookie colors last week against the New Orleans Saints. We see a lot of the time that boost from the new QB, and then the sophomore performance doesn't go as well. And I think it's going to be tough sledding against the Eagles, who look out of sorts as well, but they have a chance to get right against a New York Giants team here. So I'm going to tease them down, I think. I like the Eagles at -1 in the teaser leg. I don't want to lay the whole touchdown considering how not explosive they've been, how out of sorts they've looked without offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. Really kind of lost a lot of that oomph in that team. But here's a chance against my Giants, who are going to be middling the rest of the season. Don't get too hopeful about Dart and Scadaboo. They'll have their plays, but they're also going to lose in major ways. So I like the Eagles to do work in this one.
Well, Danny, maybe we'll have a tease partner in a couple of minutes because I know we've got some weak sides we want to look at for week 6 after Thursday night football. Mike McClure, talk to me. It's a 41.5-point total. It's a 7-point spread.
Yeah, I think the total might be just a little too low here. Going to lean over, and the stopping point would be 42.5, with 43 again becoming that key number. To me, this is a kind of game that looks like 30-13, right? That's the final score that I'm expecting in this game. Don't mind actually even sprinkling that exact score. I think defense creates offense in short fields for the Philadelphia Eagles here. I think there's enough garbage time, though, for the New York Giants to get out there, score a touchdown or two in this game. Ultimately, if we get the Giants to 13 points here, I'm feeling pretty good about the over. I think this is a great spot for Philly to kind of bounce back, get right, go score 30-plus points in a football game. It's certainly one they won't have to be motivated for. When you talk about divisional opponent in the Giants short week after a loss, give me the over here at anything 42.5 and below.
Larry, it's 4-1 versus 1-4 here. Are we any love for the Giants at +7? I mean, it's a full touchdown.
Danny was so generous when he said he projected them to be middling the rest of the way. That has to be very generous after they had 5 turnovers and that vaunted D-line got 1 hit and no sacks on Spencer Rattler. That's the strength of their team. That's where they poured all the money. And even without Landon Dickerson, I think the Eagles are going to bounce back. It's only their second loss in 22 games, so we haven't really seen them come off a loss. But with the way receivers were running wide open downfield, this is a game where the Eagles can get both of their offensive aspects on track, the running game and the passing game. I would lay it at 7 or less.
All right, well, let's look at a week 6 line. And speaking of a team that we need to get back on track, or at least Buffalo fans hope they do, Mike McClure, your look-ahead play is the Bills.
Yeah, you're still catching 3.5 right now on the Bills. Yeah, it's a primetime game on the road, but I don't think it's a terribly difficult environment to go into when you talk about the Atlanta Falcons home games in a dome controlled environment, and just a little bit of the longer week. You know, they're coming off the loss, a little more time to regroup and focus. I made Buffalo -6 in this game. I fully expect the market to close 4.5 at least. 3.5 to me feels like a touch of an overreaction. If Buffalo were going to lose a game, while I wouldn't have projected it to be at home, I would have projected it to be a team like New England in division that knows them extremely well. So this is a spot, again, get right, Buffalo Bills here. I think they win this game by a touchdown.
Now, Danny, I had mentioned that maybe a tease partner for this Philly game would be a team we're about to talk about. Larry, you like laying the points with the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, they're going to London in a totally different mindset than the New York Jets. The New York Jets probably don't want to be there. Their season is over. They weren't competitive against a terrible Dallas defense. And look what Sean Payton does, going for 2 at Philly to take the lead in the fourth quarter. We see Evan Ingram add another dimension to that offense. Bo Nix responded in the second half. So the arrow pointing way up on the Broncos. The Jets have been, pretty much the worst team in football. So yeah, 7 or less, I would lay it.
Wow, worst team in football. The Tennessee Titans still play in the NFL, Larry. And the Saints, although the Saints looked good and the Titans got their win, so maybe they are. Danny Brasco, talk to me about your week 6 line that you're willing to lock in right now.
Excuse me there, microphone muted. I'm going to place that teaser when the show ends, first order of business. And second order of business, I'm looking at the Steelers actually against the Browns. I didn't think I'd ever be laying 4.5 on the Pittsburgh Steelers after the way they started this season, but it's the scheduling spot more than anything. They played that Ireland game, and then they had the bye week, so they got to hang out, go to the Guinness factory, check out Dublin, and now they come cruising into a game against the Browns, who now have Dylan Gabriel at quarterback and are coming back from London. The Steelers are also pretty banged up on defense. They had a lot of guys hurt, Joey Porter and company. So Alex Highsmith, if they get a little healthier, I think they can make a lot of trouble for Dylan Gabriel in this game. I'm going to take them now at 4.5 before the line gets too wide.
This is really interesting because the next topic is line that we're waiting on. And Danny, you said it. You want to lock this in at 4.5 before it travels up to, I don't know, like 6, Larry, because that's what you're waiting on in this exact game.
Yeah, the Browns at 6, even with the scheduling disadvantage, would definitely be a buy for me because the Steelers, you know that they are not good in the role of favorite. Definitely laying that kind of a number. I mean, the Browns should have pulled off the upset over the Vikings. The Vikings have two really transcendent talents at receiver, Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, that made big plays in the fourth quarter and won that game for them. But the Browns will not be facing that kind of an offense this week. And I thought Dylan Gabriel did well for his first start. You know, no interceptions. The running game is definitely looking great with Quinshon Judkins. It's a divisional game. It's a rivalry game. I'll take the 6 if I can get it.
All right, let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs because Danny and Mike, you're both on the same page here. So instead of having you both put forth your argument, Mike, I'm going to let you have it. Why are we waiting on the Kansas City Chiefs line?
You know, I think that if Kansas City goes out and wins tonight, I think that there's not going to be a ton of movement in this game. But if they go out and lose tonight and don't look good, we could see more movement the other way, more movement in the favor of the Lions, who look like a legitimate Super Bowl contender in the NFC. But you'd still be talking about a Kansas City side in a situation that I think is not unfamiliar to them, one that you frankly, that's when I want to be backing Kansas City. So I just don't think you're getting penalized too much by waiting this out. And if there's a scenario where they don't necessarily look great tonight, I think there's a great chance on catching some value on them the other way. So I would wait and see the result of tonight's game and let the market kind of do what it is going to do until then.
Danny Brasco, I see you nodding your head. I know you're in agreement there because that was also your pick. Danny, Mike, Larry, thanks for joining us. Really good analysis, great picks. Can't wait to enjoy Monday Night Football and some of these Week 6 look-ahead lines I'm going to be locking in myself.